I am.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's get this party started. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Level 1 Yoga. I'm Susan. I think all of you know me at this point. I think everyone was online. I just said grab a strap or a bathrobe or a dog leash or something to have handy. And also, I would recommend a blanket of some kind for your foot, for your feet, or foot for half frog or frog, depending on if you have carpet or not. If you have carpet, you might not need one. But if you're on any kind of hard floor, it might feel better. It is really, really cold outside, so I'm at the studio all alone. Nobody braved the cold, which is probably for the best. So please stay home today, stay warm, just do your thing. This is one of the awesome, benefits of having to do this online is on days like this, you probably wouldn't have wanted to do it otherwise anyway. So stay warm. And we are going to get moving. You're probably nice and toasty in your houses, but I do have a practice set up where we can move and groove quite a little bit here at the beginning, just to get our body heat up nice and early. So hopefully that will help. So find a comfortable seat wherever you are. I'm sitting up on a blanket. You don't have to. I like it when I sit in Shavasana. I have one foot in front of the other, so my heels are aligned, ankle in front of ankle, heel stacked over heel. And this to me is a more comfortable seat for me, especially if I'm on a blanket. If it is more comfortable for you to sit in Sukhasana with one foot crossed over the other, please do so. Whatever works for you. This is your practice. And so just wanted to take things back a moment today and just sort of recenter ourselves on the practice of yoga and why we're here and what maybe you get out of this. I found this quote and I just really loved it. And I thought this is just a nice way to start practice today. True yoga is not about the shape of your body, but the shape of your life. Yoga is not to be performed, but lived. Yoga doesn't care where you've been. Yoga cares about the person you are becoming. Yoga is designed for a vast and profound purpose. And for it to truly be called yoga, its essence must be embodied. We all come to our mats for different reasons. We all get something different out of this practice. So take a moment to close your eyes, sit up nice and tall, and think about what it is that brought you to your mat today and what it is that you are looking to get out of your practice. For some of us, it's purely physical. For some of us, it's purely mental. And I think for a lot of us, it's somewhere in between both. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. There's just your answer. We're going to start today trying to build a little bit of heat with our breath. So let's first take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. So take a nice big deep inhale through your nose. Try to fill up your belly with the inhale. And then exhale, open your mouth, let it all out, feeling the belly collapse in. Inhale all the way up the spine, filling up the belly. Exhale out the mouth, hollowing out. One more time, deep breath in through the nose, maybe hold it at the top. And exhale, open mouth, let it out. Let's feel the lips shut. Bring the tongue to the palate, the space right behind the teeth. Maybe constrict the throat just a tiny bit. Breathing in and out through the nose. When you start to practice the Ujjayi Pranayama, it's called the breath of fire. And this is a natural way to build heat in your muscles and in your body without needing something like, say, a Bikram or a hot class. So do your best throughout class. We don't always, it's hard to throughout class keep the throat constricted in that same way, but if you can keep the breath coming in and out of your nose, you'll build a lot more heat. If that becomes too much, you can always open your mouth and let some of that heat out. If your eyes are still closed, go ahead and open them up. We'll start off by warming up the spine a little bit with some seated cat-cow variations. So bring your hands to your heart center. Shoulders point to the outside edges of your mat. Shoulder blades come deep onto your back. Sit up really nice and tall. Take the throat back just a little bit. On your next inhale, roll your fingertips towards you, bringing your elbows up towards the sky. Maybe send your gaze slightly up. And then on your exhale, roll your fingers down, round your back, as you look down towards your heels, pointing your fingers that way. Inhale, rolling it back up, finding a curve in the back. And exhale, rounding it down, finding that cat posture. One more time, inhale into a modified cow. And exhale, modified cat. And then bring it back up to center. Let's leave our hands at our heart center. This might be hard to see online. We're gonna do some wrist stretches. So I know I'm kind of like blending in with the tree behind me. So hands to heart center. Start off by opening your palms out in front of you and then rolling your fingertips down, taking the back of your hands together and then rolling the fingertips towards you and then bringing the hands back together, palms together. So do that as slowly or as quickly as works for you. It's just a way to open up the wrists a little bit. Get the fluids going here in the joints. For some of us, this is natural and you're like, what's the big deal? For others of us, it took me forever. Okay, so come on back to the heart center. For me, this is the tricky one, is going the opposite way. So keeping your palms together, start by opening your palms towards you. So back of the hands towards the camera, palms towards you, and then rolling the fingertips down, back of the hands out, and then coming back through center. And we'll keep on doing that. Again, I can't really tell if you can see me or not okay online for this. And anyway, just roll your wrists around. How about that? And then bring it back to heart center. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of hip opening while we're here. So if you're sitting on a blanket, maybe move it out of the way. Bring your feet down in front of you, knees bent up towards the sky. Take your hands behind you for a little bit of extra support. Before we do anything else, draw your abs up and in, take the shoulders away from your waist. So think of this almost like when we're doing boat pose, when we're trying to get that V. So keep the strong abs here, and then take your right ankle up, cross it over your left knee. Flex through the right foot, and energetically press the right knee away from you without actually using your hand to do so. All right, and then if you're ready to deepen this a little bit, you can move your left foot in towards your glutes or move your glutes in towards your foot. Any way you can, only as deep as is comfortable for you. Again, where you can still sort of energetically press that knee away. Don't hunch forward. If you're finding yourself leaning forward to accomplish this, give yourself a little bit more space. And then go ahead and take your glutes back and release that ankle. And let's get set up for the other side. So again, pull the abs up and in, crown of the head up nice and tall, and then take your left ankle, cross it over your right, flex through the left foot. Take a moment here as you press that knee away from you, and then draw the right foot in towards your glutes, glutes in towards the foot, taking this only as deep as is comfortable for you without having to hunch forward to accomplish it. And then when you're ready, go ahead and let that go. And let's come right around to a tabletop position. Okay, so in tabletop, spread your fingers, have your shoulders in line over your wrists, hips in line over the knees, and take a look back underneath your legs, between your legs. See if you can see your feet. If you can, they're probably not in line. So we don't want our feet out here. We don't want them in too far. You want them right in line, your heels in line with your knees. So take a look back. And if you can't see your feet, you're in the right spot. All right, send your gaze down at the mat right in between your thumbs. Take the crown of the head towards the top of the mat, creating some length in your spine. And we'll do some traditional cat-cows here. So inhale, take your sit bones back and apart. Start to draw the belly button down towards the earth. Shoulder blades on your back as you look up. Exhale, press the earth away, tuck the tailbone under, draw the belly button up towards the sky as you look towards your thighs. Inhale, taking that nice big cow curve. And exhale, bringing it up into that cat. Again, inhaling here. And exhaling. And back to neutral spine here. Okay, let's see here. So let's take your knees back about 2 or 3 inches, curl your toes if they're not already, and we're gonna come up to our first downward facing dog. So take a couple breaths here and a couple of movements here, maybe bending one knee, straightening the other, walking the dog a little bit. Try to be mindful in walking it. Take it nice and slow, spending some time really stretching through the calves. And then take a moment back here in a neutral dog position. Think about the space in between your shoulder blades. Take a breath in and see if you can puff up that space between your shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, keep that space nice and puffed up and simply press your chest towards your thighs a little bit more using the ball mounds of your fingers. All right, let's shift forward into a plank pose. If you need to wiggle your toes back for a little bit of space here, do so. Nice, strong plank. Press your quads up towards the sky and your heels towards the back of the mat. And then let's press back up into that downward facing dog. And then bring your knees down. Take your toes to touch and sink your hips back for a child's pose. If this isn't comfortable, you can always grab that blanket and place it in the space in between your glutes and your calves. Stretch your fingertips towards the top of the mat, forehead down to the mat. And then let's shift back up into that downward facing dog. All right. We have a tendency to shorten our dogs too much. So again, let's shift forward into a plank. Wiggle your toes back if you need to. This is right where they need to be. And then bring your right forearm down to the mat and bring your left forearm down to the mat for a forearm plank. Again, lifting up through your quads, pressing the heels back, shoulder blades onto your back. Okay, go ahead and press up with the right hand, press up with the left hand, and shift back up, downward facing dog. And let's give it a break. Come back down to your knees, toes together, sink back, child's pose. All right, one more round. Come on back up into that downward facing dog. Think about that space in between your shoulder blades again. Don't let it collapse in. Go ahead and puff it up and then press through those knuckles. Trying to keep all that same alignment. Go ahead and shift your weight forward into your plank pose. Draw the abs up and in. And this time take your left forearm down to the mat, right forearm down to the mat. Hold this forearm plank as long as you can. Nice strong thighs here. Keep pulling the abs up and in. And then bring your left hand back to the mat, right hand back to the mat, and press up, downward facing dog. She's so mean. All right, take a look towards your thumbs, and on your next exhale, journey to the top of the mat, finding a forward fold. Okay, let's inhale, come up halfway lift, bring your hands to your shins, and hold it here. Send your gaze down to the mat, right in front of your face. Stretch the crown of the head towards the top of the mat and take your sit bones back towards the back of the mat. Inhale here, filling up the belly. Exhale here, letting all the air out of the belly, pulling the abs up and in. And as you continue that exhale, come into a forward fold. Bring the hands down to the mat. Bend your knees as much as you need to for that space, or use a block. We'll do that a little bit more fluidly with the breath. Inhale, halfway lift, fill up the belly. Exhale here, hollowing out the belly, drawing the abs in, and then fold it down. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, draw the abs up and in as you forward fold down to the mat. Put a slight bend in your knees. Inhale, reach all the way up for the sky. And hands down to your heart center. All right, let's grab that strap or dog leash or bathrobe belt, whatever it is you have handy. We'll continue to work on the shoulders just a little bit. So feet hip distance apart. Take the strap in your hands about as wide as your sticky mat. And then inhale, bring them on up. All right, so pull the shoulder blades down your back and then try to split that strap in half. Pull it with as much might as you can. Crown of the head up nice and tall, chin back just a little bit. Inhale here. Exhale, start to take it behind you. Okay, so right here, I need to get my hands a little bit wider. Widen your hands as much as is comfortable for you. Bring them about halfway down your back, or about halfway to your capacity, I guess. Take another breath in here, and then exhale, take it all the way to your capacity, wherever that is. Inhale it up halfway. Hold it here. Inhale again, all the way up. And then exhale down in front. Shake it out for a moment. Now you kind of know how wide you need to be on your strap to make that comfortable. Let's do it again. Inhale, bring it up, hold it here. Go ahead and try to burst that strap, give it a nice big pull. Crown of the head up, press down through the feet, pull the abs up and in. Inhale here, exhale, take it to halfway capacity for you. Hold it here, take another breath in, and then exhale all the way down. Inhale it up halfway, hold it here. Inhale it all the way, and then exhale down in front. All right, go ahead and let that strap go. And let's flow through Sun A here, continue to build that heat. If you've lost your Ujjayi Pranayama, close those lips up, take the tongue to the palate right behind the teeth. Maybe constrict the throat just a little bit for a couple of rounds of breath. On your next inhale, bring the arms up to the sky, shoulders down your back. Exhale, forward fold down to the mat. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, draw the abs up and in and fold it down. Step your feet back to a plank pose. Hold your plank pose. Press the heels back, draw the quads up. Are your shoulders on your back? Are you pressing through the knuckles? One more breath in, and you're welcome to take your knees down at any time in these plank poses. On your exhale, bend your elbows straight back, 90 degrees, Chaturanga Dandasana, and come all the way down to your stomach. Flip the toes, press the toenails firmly into the mat. Draw the abs up away from the mat. Inhale, heart forward, cobra pose. And then exhale, come on back down to the mat. We'll do that 2 more times. Press through the toenails, lift the knees, lift the abs. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, release. One more time, bring it up, cobra pose, Bhujangasana, and exhale, release. Flip those toes, press up either through a tabletop or through reverse plank for a downward facing dog. Remember that space between your shoulders. Keep pressing to the knuckle pads. And then energetically turn so your inside elbow creases face one another if they're not already, and feel how that widens through the shoulders. Inhale as you look forward and bend your knees slightly. And on your exhale, come to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Inhale, bring it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. And inhale, reach all the way up. And on our exhale, let's cactus our arms, open our heart. Inhale, reach. And exhale, hands to your heart center. All right. Let's inhale, reach it up. And then exhale, fold down to the mat. Come on up, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Plant the hands, step the left foot back, and then wiggle the toes back so you have a really, really, really wide stance, and then take the left knee down. We're gonna do a hip flexor low lunge here. So go ahead and come up with your hands to your hips. So in this low lunge, what we're looking for is your right knee in line over your ankle, but this nice big angle here, whatever that means for you, and your left leg and your left hip flexor. And then want to pull the right hip back so you're in line with the left hip, and then sink both hips down towards the earth without moving this knee. So we're not looking to take your knee forward. We're not taking our hips forward. We're keeping this knee in line right over our ankle and taking them down to the earth. Feeling a nice big stretch right here in the left hip flexor. Maybe inhale, reach your arms up. Breathe through it. And then go ahead and take your hands, frame your foot, bring your knee in as much as you need to, curl your foot, and then step back to the top of your mat into that forward fold. Inhale, bring it up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. We'll do the same, taking the right foot back, wiggle it as far as you think you need to for that nice big stretch, and then take the right knee down to the earth, and then come on up, hands to your hips. Take this moment to check your alignment, knee in line right over the ankle, nice big angle on the right hip. Pull the left hip back and down a little bit, and then sink both hips straight down to the earth without moving that knee right where it is. And then inhale, reach your arms up. Couple rounds of breath here. All right, go ahead and frame that foot. Pull your knee in as much as you need to. Curl the toes, lift the knee, step forward, forward fold. Inhale it up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. Let's cactus those arms, open up. Reach towards the sky and hands down to your heart center. Okay, let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, not quite as wide because we're gonna come up into a high lunge here. So once you get yourself settled, either crawl your hands up your thigh or press through your right foot, as I fall over, and reach up into a high lunge. Knees still in line over the ankle, and we're pressing back through that left heel. Take a breath in here, and then we're gonna exhale, do a slow low down. So bend through the left knee, hover it right over the mat as long as you can, and then place it all the way down on the mat. So now we're in a low lunge without quite that big angle. Keep on reaching up. Take your right hand, grab your left, reach that left hand up towards the earth, and then reach over to the right side of your mat. We're looking for your chest to be spinning towards the top of the mat. So if you find yourself dipping forward, think about pulling this left shoulder back and think about taking your chest towards that short front edge of your mat. Inhale, bring it up. Let's switch it out. Left hand grabs the right, pull it up, and then pull it over. Again, being conscious to keep that right shoulder back, chest towards me. And then bring it back to center. Let's frame the foot. We're gonna raise the back leg. And then let's press down through the right foot. Lift your left toes up. Maybe hover them for a half standing split. And then release the toes down next to the right. Inhale it up halfway. Plant the hands, step the right foot back. We're gonna find that high lunge on the other side, however you need to get there. So get your foundation first and meet me in high lunge. So your right heel is raised, you're on the ball mound of your right foot, left knee is in line over the ankle, and we sink those hips down just a little bit. Take a breath in, and then exhale, slowly bend through the right knee. Hover it as long as you can right over the mat, and then release it all the way down. Keep on reaching up. Pull those outer hip bones in towards each other. Get a nice big squeeze here. This time, take the, left hand, grab the right wrist, pull it up, and pull it over to the left. We'll do both sides. It doesn't matter if you did it the other way. Bring it back to center. Switch it out, pulling up and over. Remember to keep on drawing those hip points in towards each other for stability. And bring it back to center. Release, and go ahead and frame that foot. Raise your back knee, press through the left foot, raise your right toes up, maybe hovering in a half standing split, and then release the toes next to the left, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. And inhale, let's come all the way up, and hands down to your heart center. Okay, so let's add a tiny element of balance in here. Coming to the top of your mat. I like to bring my hands to the heart center. It gives me a sense of stability and balance. If it's easier for you to have your hands down, by all means do that. Some people even might need to take them out for that extra balance. For me, hands to the heart center kind of squeezing in a little bit are a reminder to me to engage those abs and pull them all in towards the midline. So stand well on both feet, pressing firmly through all four corners of both feet, pressing down into the ground, feeling the energy then rise up the legs as you do that. Shift the weight to your right foot, come onto your left toes, and then draw that left knee up, flexing through your left foot. Crown of the head up, nice and tall, pressing through all four corners of that right foot. We're gonna step back into that high lunge. So either take your toe down and walk it back, or shift your weight forward, stretch the left leg back, bending through the right knee, gently placing the left toes down behind you for that high lunge. When you feel nice and stable here, inhale, reach it up. Knees in line, sink that heel back, and then take your hands behind your back. Clasp your hands and inhale, straighten the elbows away. So we're pulling our heart forward and our shoulders onto our back. Crown of the head is still reaching up nice and tall. Chin back just a little bit. Reach those knuckles towards your left thigh. All right, go ahead and release the clasp, reach it up. And then we're gonna meet in a warrior two. So take your left foot flat to the earth, heel down, open up your arms. So warrior two, our right knee is in line over that ankle. We're pressing firmly through the back foot, engaging through the back thigh. Go ahead and inhale, flip the right palm, take a breath in here, and then exhale, reaching that arm up and over towards the back of your mat, being conscious to leave that right knee in line right over your ankle. So keep that bend in your right knee, don't lose it. And then bringing your arms back through warrior two. Adding a little bit of movement here, let's keep our torso towards the long left side of your mat. Inhale, straighten your leg, reach both arms up. And then exhale, press back into your warrior two. Inhale, straighten and reach. And exhale, press into warrior. One more time, inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, warrior two. All right, keep your arms right where they are. Inhale, straighten that right leg. Keep your torso spinning to the long left side of the mat. Gaze over the right fingertips. Inhale as you reach as far forward as you possibly can with that right hand. And on your exhale, swing that arm slowly down, keeping all that space, and reach your left arm up for triangle. The right hand can be on the earth, on a block, on your leg. Just be careful if you're on your leg that you're not pressing on your leg. All right, we're gonna use our side body to come up here. So keep reaching through the left fingertips. Reach so much through the left fingertips that your right fingertips start to come up off of the mat, and then bring them back to parallel. Bend through the knee, warrior two. And then go ahead and windmill your hands, frame that foot. And we're gonna step back, either plank or downward facing dog. If you are in plank, go ahead and lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, find your cobra pose. And exhale, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Couple rounds of breath here. If you need to come down to your knees and give your shoulders a break, please do so. Find that Ujjayi breath, create some heat. On your next inhale, send your gaze up towards your fingertips and bend your knees. And on your next exhale, journey to the top of your mat, finding that forward fold. Let's inhale, bring it up, halfway lift, fill the belly with air. Exhale, draw the abs up and in, and then fold it back down to the earth. Slight bend in your knees, inhale, reach all the way up. Then exhale your hands down to your, down to your heart center. For the other side. Looking for that same stability, pressing down through the feet and squeezing everything into the midline. Start to shift the weight to your left foot and come onto those right toes, and then draw that right knee up. Hold it here, squeezing those outer hip points in towards each other. And again, gonna meet in that high lunge. So either take the foot down and walk it back, or slowly start to stretch the right foot back, confidently and slowly and gracefully placing the toes down behind you, trusting that the mat is there. And whenever you're ready, reach it up, high lunge. Do a knee check. Is your knee in line over your ankle? Pull up through the right quad as you press down through the hips. Hands behind the sacrum, opposite thumb on top. Inhale, straighten away. Pull the shoulder blades onto your back. Crown of the head reaches up, and then throat back. Lots of length in the spine here. Maybe take the knuckles closer to that thigh. And then release, reach it back up, and find your warrior two. So taking your back foot flat to the earth. Heel bisects the arch of your right foot. Torso is facing to the right side, gaze is over the left fingertips. Flip your left palm and reverse your warrior, pressing it up towards the sky and then over your ear behind you. Keep the bend in your left knee and press through the outer edge of that back foot. And then let's bring it back through warrior two. Inhale, straighten your leg, reach both arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach and straighten. Exhale, press. One more time, inhaling here and exhaling into warrior two. Keeping your torso towards the long right side of your mat. Inhale, straighten that left leg. Take a reach as far as you possibly can towards the top of the mat. Lots and lots and lots of length in the left rib cage. And then on your exhale, sweep those hands down, reaching the right arm up, trying to keep all that length in your lower rib cage. Maybe even send your gaze up towards your hand. We're not looking for a big twisty back bend here, trying to get a nice straight line up towards the sky, shoulder over shoulder. Pull up through the right fingertips, so much so that your left fingertips come up off of the earth or that block, and then bring the torso back up and bend into your warrior two. Go ahead and windmill those hands, frame your foot, step back, downward facing dog, or come into your plank pose and take a vinyasa, and we'll all meet in downward facing dog. You can always come down into a child's pose or down onto your knees at any time. All right, bend your knees and look forward, and exhale, journey to the top of your mat, forward fold. Let's take that big inhale, halfway lift, fill up the belly with all that air, crown of the head forward. Exhale, draw the belly button up into the spine as you fold back forward. Inhale, reach all the way up. Then hands to your heart center. Fold back forward. Did that make sense? It did in my head, but not when I said it out loud. Okay. Grab a sip of water if you need it. It's super dry out there. Just because it's not hot doesn't mean we don't need lots of hydration. So grab your water. And I'm going to start facing this way. So when you're ready, come to the top of your mat, but I'm going to come this way. All right. Stand well on both feet. Again, press so firmly into all four corners of both feet that as you press down into the ground, you feel the energy rising up your legs. Draw those abs up and in, crown of the head up as tall as you can. Bring your arms up halfway. And then slowly flip your palms up towards the sky, drawing the shoulder blades on your back. Once you feel the shoulder blades firmly planted on your back, leave them there as you reach your arms all the way up. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale it up, that halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, let it all out as you slowly fold down, and let's send the left foot back, runner's lunge. So hold this runner's lunge for a moment. All right, so I notice that my shoulders always come forward when I do this, so I have to consciously take my shoulders away from my ears, and then keep lifting through that left quad as you sink your hips down. So it's kind of opposite actions here to keep that knee in line over your ankle. All right, we're going to transition into a wide-legged fold here. So bring both hands to the inside of your right foot and then crawl them to the long left side of your mat as you spin your back foot flat, straighten your right leg, and then turn your right toes to the long left side of your mat. So however you need to get there, we are in a wide-legged fold facing the long left side of your mat. So let's inhale, come up, halfway lift, fill the belly with all that air, take the sit bones back and apart. Exhale, draw the abs up and in as you fold the crown of your head down towards the earth, hips up towards the sky. Plant the left hand, take your right hand to your hip, and then turn your torso towards the top of your mat. And then reach that right arm up towards the sky. Keep on breathing. And then right hand comes back down to the mat. We'll take it to the other side, left hand to the hip, turn your torso first, keep strong legs, and then reach the left hand up towards the sky. And then bring it back down. Again, just a couple rounds of breath here. Try to take the crown of your head closer to the earth. And we accomplish this by raising your hips up towards the sky. It's opposite actions. Okay, so now bring your hands to your hips. Elbows pointing up towards the sky, press firmly through the feet, and from the hips, rise up, nice straight back. All right, we're gonna turn the toes at a 45-degree angle, and then reach the arms up into a 5-pointed star. Okay, if you're feeling like this is kind of restful, you're not doing it right. So reach through the fingertips, press through the feet, reach through the crown of the head, take the tail down, feel energy shooting out of every point in your body. Take another breath in here, and then exhale, slowly bend your knees, cactus your arms, come into a goddess squat. All right, take a look down. Are your knees kind of plopping forward? Bring your heels in a little bit more so the knees are in line over your ankles. All right, let's get all nice and set up here. And then maybe sink your hips down just a little bit more. We're not looking for a back bend here, so don't throw your heart forward and your head up. Think more about taking the tailbone straight down, shoulders on your back. All right, am I talking too much? Does this hurt yet? All right, inhale, straighten up. You know I love you guys. Take another breath in here. Let's exhale, goddess. We won't hold it as long. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. Let's do one more round. Inhale and exhale. Told you guys I'd get your heat going here, right? Inhale into that star. Bring your arms out so they're parallel to the earth. Bring your toes back to face the long side of your mat. And then turn your right toes towards the top of the mat and bend your knee back into that warrior two. Let's bring your hands behind your sacrum, clasp your hands, pull the shoulder blades onto your back. All right, we're gonna do a humble warrior two. You're welcome to stay here. Turn your torso towards the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Take a breath in, exhale, crown of the head towards that left corner of your mat. Maybe pause right here, taking your shoulder to your knee. If this is enough, stay right here. If you want to take it further, take the crown of the head down, shoulder to the inside of that knee, knuckles up towards the sky. Find one that works for you. This is a really deep stretch. There's a lot of strength here. There's a lot of hip here. When you're ready, bring the torso back up, unclasp the hands, reach them out, straighten your legs, say, ah. Reach towards the top of the mat, lots and lots of length in that rib cage. Keep all that length as you swing the right fingertips down towards the earth, reach the left hand up, triangle pose. Use your side body, pull yourself back up. And then we're gonna bend through that knee and windmill your hands, frame your foot back into that runner's lunge where we started. Adjust your foot however you need to. We're gonna come to the top of the mat into a standing split. So shorten your stance a little bit if you need to. Press through the right foot firmly. Lift your left heel up, toes to the sky. Heel to the sky, I mean. Try to take the crown of your head down towards the earth, towards your toes as you lift through the left heel. If you want to play with balance, maybe take one hand to your ankle. Take it back down. Maybe take the other hand to your ankle. Take it back down. If you really want to get tricky, you can try to take both hands to your ankle at the same time. And then place that foot down, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale all the way up. Let the blood rush down. Bring your hands to your heart center. Take a couple breaths. And we'll do it on the other side. So stay to the top of your mat. Couple more rounds of breath here. Remembering if you still need some heat, keep those lips sealed. If you need to let some heat out, open them out, open them up. All right, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, pulling up the hands. This time, right foot comes back, runner's lunge. Take a couple moments here, do a body scan. Are your shoulders pulling away from your ears and onto your back? Is your knee in line over your ankle? Are you lifting through the right quad as you sink down through the hips? Are you breathing? All right, we're gonna transition into that wide-legged fold. So take both hands to the inside of your left foot, spin your back foot flat, crawl your hands to the long left side of your mat, toes all pointing that way. Or I'm sorry, to the right side. I don't know. Yeah, right side of your mat, sorry. Either way, we're all in a wide-legged fold on our mat, right? Inhale it up, halfway lift. Fill up the belly with air as you inhale. Exhale here, drawing the abs up and in, and continuing that exhale, take the crown of your head down. Plant your right hand, take your left hand to your hip, turn your torso, and then reach that left hand up for a twisted wide-legged fold. And then change it out, take the left hand down, right hand to your hip, turn with the torso first, and then reach up with the hand. Keep pressing through the feet, engaging through the thighs. And then bring that hand on down to the earth. Okay, the fun is here. Take your hands to your hips, elbows pointing up towards the sky, press through your feet as you rise up from the waist. Turn your toes out again and reach your arms up, five-pointed star. And yes, we're gonna hold goddess for a couple moments while I talk a lot. So go ahead and bend your knees, cactus your arms, and then do a check here. Where are your knees? Where are your heels? Have everything in line. And then sink down a little bit lower. Take the crown of the head up a little bit taller. Smile. Say you love goddess pose and you feel powerful. And then inhale, star. And exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. One more for good measure. Bring it up, my friends. Pull it down. Feel the power, feel the burn. And then bring it back up. Arms out to parallel, toes back towards the long side of your mat. And then turn the left toes to the front of the mat. Bend through your knee. Go ahead and take those hands behind your back, opposite thumb on top. Actually, I'm gonna do a quick adjustment with my back foot here because I'm not in line. All right, inhale, straighten your knuckles down towards the earth, shoulder blades on your back. Turn your torso to the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Knee stays right over that ankle. Press to the outside edge of your foot. Inhale up for length here. Exhale, bow forward, bringing the left shoulder to the left knee. Stay here or take another breath in and then exhale. Your head down towards the mat, knuckles up towards the sky. Inhale, bring it on up. Release, straighten, say ah. Reach towards the top of the mat. And then slowly sweep that left hand down, right hand up, triangle pose. It should feel very, very good at this point. Maybe send your gaze up towards your upper fingers. All right, use your side body, pull yourself back up. Quick bend through that knee so you can go ahead and windmill. Your hands down, come on to the ball of your back foot, adjust as necessary, knowing we're gonna come back to the top of our mat from this runner's lunge. Once you have your stance, press through your left foot, raise your right heel up towards the sky. Take a breath in here. Exhale, draw your belly button in. Take the crown of your head down. Maybe play with your balance on this side if you did on the other. Trying one hand to your ankle, back to the earth. Other hand to your ankle, back to the earth. Maybe you can play around, try to take both, and then come on down into that forward fold. Take a couple breaths here in forward fold. If you want to deepen it, take opposite hands to opposite elbow, letting gravity pull your elbows down towards the earth, hips up towards the sky, remembering that you can create more space by drawing your abs up and in. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and release. Bend through the knees, reach all the way up, and bring your hands to your heart center. I'm gonna grab my water. It's at the front desk. Excuse me, one moment. Grab a sip of water if you need it. Talk about saying, I needed that. Okay, we should be nice and hippie by now. So let's take our feet wider than hip distance apart, toes at a slight angle. So toes kind of pointing towards the edges of the mat, but not all the way out. So I think This is less than 45 degrees for me. You'll have to play with it. We're going to come into Malasana Squat. If this isn't something comfortable for you, you can always grab a block to sit on, or a can of food or a book or something. We're going to bend through our knees, hands at your heart center, and come into Malasana. So have that block handy if you need it. Another thing that some people like to do if you can't keep your heels down is sometimes people like to roll their mat up, have their heels on their mat, and come down. So find a Malasana that's comfortable for you. Because we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Try to keep some length in your spine. If you find yourself hunching forward to accomplish this, try it with a mat or try it with a block. See if you can take that crown of your head up, elbows to the insides of your knees. Couple more breaths. And then bring your hands down to the mat and let's slowly start to straighten through, coming into a slightly wide-legged forward fold. Put a bend in your knees and inhale, reach all the way up. And hands to your heart center. If you rolled up the mat, go ahead and release it. Okay, one more round of standing poses here. A little bit of shoulders, a little bit of leg here. So we're gonna come into it from, we're coming in warrior two from a downward facing dog. You're welcome to simply step back into a dog. You're simply welcome to simply step back into a warrior two. Or if you would like to take a full vinyasa, have your feet facing forward. Draw up through those abs, pressing down through the feet. Inhale, reach it up. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, find that plank or your downward facing dog. If you are in plank pose, lower down, bending your elbows straight back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, find your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we're going to step forward to find a warrior two. So press through your left foot, raise your right toes up, bring the knee forward, and step your foot in between your thumbs. Spin your back foot flat, and we're going to rise up, finding that warrior two. Keep the torso turning to the long side of your mat, and then take this left hand and reach it around behind your back. Okay, so we're pressing the back of your hand into your right kidney and press so much that you use that as leverage to draw that left shoulder back. Flip your right palm and reverse your warrior with a half bind. Straighten through your leg, give it a slight break for bound revolved triangle. And then bend back through the knee, bring your right arm back through, leaving the half bind. We're gonna reach the right fingertips towards the top of the mat and then bend the elbow, place the forearm on the thigh. Okay, again, press that left hand, use as leverage to pull your left shoulder back. Keep lots of length in your lower rib cage here. Take the weight off of your forearm. Maybe test it out by reaching your right hand forward and taking it back to your thigh and reaching it forward and back. We do things in threes. Reach it forward, bring it back, release the left hand by reaching it up and then over your ear towards the top of the mat into this wide side angle pose. If you really want to get tricky, reach your right hand out and then come on up. Straighten through your front leg. And then go ahead and windmill your hands, frame your foot, and let's step back, downward facing dog. All right, press through the right foot, lift your left toes up, bring your left knee forward and plant the hand in between your thumbs. However you need to get there. Once you're there, spin your back foot flat and come on up. Warrior two on the other side, left knee in line over the ankle, torso turning towards the long side of your mat. Take your right arm around your back of the hand into your kidney, pull the right shoulder back, flip your left palm and reverse your warrior. Straighten through that front leg, bound reverse triangle. and then bend back through and bring your left arm forward. Reach your left fingertips towards the top of the mat, bend your left elbow, place it on your thigh. Pull back through the right shoulder. Lengthen through the left rib cage. Take the weight off of that elbow, maybe reach your left hand forward. Back to your thigh. Reach it forward, to the thigh, and forward, and to the thigh. Release your right arm, reach it up and over your ear. Stay here or get tricky. Take your left arm, reach it forward, and then let's all come up. And windmill your hands, frame your foot, step back, downward facing dog. And then drop the knees, bring the big toes together to touch, knees spread wide, and sink back into a child's pose. If your shoulders need a really big break here and this doesn't feel good, you can always bring your knees a little closer together and bring your arms around to your side. So do what works for you. Find your yoga, find your purpose. Why did you come to the mat today? If you're not finding the peace you need, take a deep breath in and see if you can get back to your center. All right, we're going to press ourselves up. Basically, we're going to come back into Malasana Squat. So I'm going to come up through downward facing dog. You're welcome to join me this way, or if you simply just want to step forward and squat down. I'm going to, from downward facing dog, walk my feet in towards my hands, slightly walking them wider and wider and wider, and then sink down. Try it out. Are your heels down? Is this comfortable? Can you get space in your spine? If not, roll up your mat, put it underneath your heels. Take a block, sit on your block. Find your Malasana Squat where you feel this nice big hip opening, where you can still have a long spine, shoulders away from your ears, crown of the head up. So from this Malasana Squat, we're going to end up on our bottoms. If you are in a very nice, comfortable Malasana and you're super close to the ground, you can simply very gently sit down behind you. If that was not easy and comfortable and you are going to risk plopping down, go ahead and straighten through your legs and then squat down or downward facing dog down, or however you need to get down to the mat into a seat. Either way, we'll all meet in a seat. Okay. I talked at the beginning about wanting to sit in that nice big V as if we were going to do boat pose. So let's do boat pose. Okay, so just like at the beginning of class, we're going to have our knees bent, feet stamped down into the earth. We want a nice big long spine and pull those abs up and in. So we want to draw the belly button up and towards the spine, maybe even hollowing out a little bit, but not sucking it in, because you want to be able to breathe still, okay? Shoulders on your back, hands behind your thighs, crown of the head up nice and tall. Slightly shift your weight back and raise your toes up off of the earth. Maybe stay here. If it's comfortable for you, remove your hands from your thighs and reach them forward. And then if it's comfortable for you, straighten your legs to whatever level is comfortable. As soon as you feel yourself collapsing in, you've taken it too far. We want to keep the shoulders on your back and that nice long spine. And then release the knees back down to the earth. So at any time, if you think back to class when we were doing the cat and the cow, if any time you feel yourself going into that cat, you've taken it to a place where your body isn't ready yet, and that's not going to be good for your low back or for your shoulders. So you want to always think cow without like quite the exaggeration of it. And so take it down to whatever level allows you that kind of space. As soon as you feel yourself hunching, take it back a notch, okay? All right, I talked enough, let's do it again. Crown of the head up nice and tall, ears back a little bit, pull the abs in and lift the toes. Maybe reach the hands forward, maybe straighten your legs. All right, wherever you are, if you want to add to it, pull your knees in without touching them to the earth, and then press them back out. Pull your knees in, press them back out. One more time, knees come in, press it out, and then release it down. Well, that was fun. All right. One more round of our favorite thing to do. Hands behind the thighs, crown of the head up tall, shoulders on your back, shift it back. Raise the toes, reach the arms out, maybe straighten the legs. Breathe through it. And release. All right. So I promised some frogs. So we're gonna start with half frogs. So if you're not on carpet, get a blanket and put it on the right side of your mat. And then come on down to your stomachs. We're gonna come into Sphinx Pose first. So in Sphinx Pose, we're gonna be down on our stomachs, on our forearms. Elbows are in line underneath the shoulders. Fingers spread wide, palms pressed down. Okay, so let's start at the back half first. Press your toenails into the mat, so much so that your kneecaps lift up. Draw the stomach up and in, just like we've been, trying to pull the belly button away from the mat, but not forgetting to breathe. Take the shoulder blades on your back, shoulders away from your ears. Press through the hands, press through the forearms, and then pull your heart forward by energetically dragging your elbows back. Now, as you did that, did you lose the lower half? Be conscious to keep pressing the toenails in and drawing the abs up and in. Sphinx is a very active pose. And then go ahead and release down, bend your knees, windshield wiper back and forth. Okay, we're gonna start off with half frog, which is a little bit more restful. So blankets to the right side. What we do is you're gonna bend your right knee and place it, your knee and your foot, if you can, on that blanket or just right next to you. All right, we want your shoulders and your hips in line with the top of the mat. And if you're on carpet, you might be able to do this. If you're on a blanket, it's nice, you can grab the blanket and physically move it up a little bit. And then that'll deepen this stretch in your hip for you. Keep pressing down through the right hip. Some of you, this might be a lot. Some of you might not be feeling this at all. Don't worry, we're gonna do full frog soon. If this is a lot for you, keep it in mind as we do full frog, that perhaps you just come back into half frog. And if this isn't a lot for you, you're gonna love frog. Couple more breaths here. All right, start to release the knee away from you. Bring it back straight. If you use a blanket, go ahead and take it to the other side. And then whenever you are ready, go ahead and bend through that left knee, drawing it up. We're coming onto the inside edge of your foot. So your foot is flexed. I didn't say it on the other time. We want a flexed foot. So picture a frog, and then you'll kind of get that shape. Okay. And then to deepen it, if you're on a blanket, go ahead and grab that blanket and pull it up a little bit more. If we were in class together and if I was allowed near you, I would be coming around and I would actually press on your foot and bring your knee up closer to the top of your mat. So envision that, or if you have somebody in the room with you, have them do that. You can get a lot deeper in this pose than you think you can, but a lot of times you need a little extra assistance. That's why I like to pull on the blanket if I don't have someone else with me. Couple more rounds of breath here. All right, and then go ahead and release that down. And we are going to come into full frog. So for full frog, we're gonna come up through tabletop. So I had mentioned earlier, I like this on a blanket. For me, again, I have bunions. So the inside edges of my feet, it hurts if they're pressed up against something hard. It also helps the knees. You don't need a blanket here, but you might want a blanket. If you have a wall available, this is actually quite much more comfortable against the wall, but we're just gonna do it this way. So let's see here. From tabletop, we take our knees a little bit wider. Let's see, I'm gonna have my knees slightly in front of the blanket. Knees a little bit wider than hip distance. So the opposite of that table before, okay? And then we're gonna bring our feet 1 foot at a time out to each side. Okay, so I'm still on my toes, right? So the goal is to have the inside edge of my feet down on the earth and my hips back. So I'm gonna start to sink my hips back as I bring the inside edge of my feet down. I'm gonna need to spread my knees a little bit wider than this. So adjust as much as you need to. My knees are actually as wide as my sticky mat here, maybe slightly wider. Okay, this is an intense pose. I can't get it any deeper than this. You might be able to get your hips down. You might be here and say this is torture. You might have your hips all the way down. I'm down on my forearms, my hips, my sit bones are reaching back towards the back of my mat. The goal is to be on the complete knife edge of your foot with your foot flexed. So toes are pointing straight out. Again, picture the shape of a frog. Couple more rounds of breath. And then come on up out of it. Bring the knees back together. Move your blanket. Goodness gracious. Where does the time go? All right. I think we'll just start to cool it down. We're going to call that our peak pose today. Nice big hip opener for you there. And then actually we'll do one more thing. I promise, cow face. So grab your strap and come back into a tabletop position, okay? We'll do one more hippie opener here. And this should, after that frog, should be nothing. Well, maybe not nothing. You might need your blanket to sit down on, so have that handy as well. You have to play with this one a little bit. So we're gonna bring our right knee forward, okay? And then your right foot comes out to the left side. And then you're gonna step your left knee behind your right knee and your left foot out to the right side, okay? And then we start to crawl it back, and we're looking for both sit bones being connected to something. Knees stacked over knees. Now yours might not be touching like mine are. One knee might be way up here, and that's okay, but see, make sure that this sit bone is on something. So if it's not, go ahead and grab a block, grab a blanket, grab a pillow. We want to have both bones down on the earth and our knees as stacked as they can be, okay? Feet are flexed here. We're gonna sit up nice and tall. So take a moment to find this posture and then grab your strap if you need it for the bind. Have it on your, let's see here. Have it in your left hand. I really had to think about that. Okay, so cow face arms. We are going to reach our right arm up. If you need the strap, have it in your right hand and bend that elbow back behind you, okay? So left elbow, I might have said right, I meant left. Left elbow is up towards the sky, your hand is on your back, okay? Strap is in the left hand if you need it. Right hand comes out, thumb points down to the earth, and then bend through that elbow, take the back of your hand on your back and then crawl it up. You might be able to reach your fingertips. You might be able to just grab that strap. Whatever works for you, we're finding that bind. Again, if you find yourself hunching forward to get it, be conscious of pulling that crown of the head up, throat back, left elbow up, right elbow down. And don't forget to breathe. All right, slowly start to let go of the arms, unwind yourselves here. All right, to get out of this, I'm gonna get out of it just the way I got into it. You're always welcome just to simply unpretzel yourself from here. I like to crawl my hands forward, come back onto my knees, bring my feet in, and come back through a tabletop position. In any case, however you need to unpretzel yourself, we're gonna repretzel on the other side. So left knee comes forward, left foot to the right side, right knee behind your left knee, right foot to the left side. Okay, so left knee is in front. And then we crawl it back and sit down, and then find your posture on this side. So are you connected? Do you need to sit on a blanket? Do you need to sit on a block? If this is super uncomfortable, I should have said the first time, sit in Sukhasana. the easy seat, crisscross applesauce, and just switch it out each side. I'm sorry, I didn't say that on the first side. But if you can stay connected to something, and again, your knees might not touch the way mine are. One knee is probably up. That's okay, okay? Just flex through the feet and sit up tall and feel the connection. If you need the strap, this time have it in your right hand. We're gonna reach the right arm up and then bend the right elbow so the hand comes down your back. You can always use your left hand to press it back a little bit. Whenever I do this, my chin comes forward, so I have to make a conscious effort to bring it back up. Left hand to the left side, thumb points down. Bend through the left elbow, back of the hand on the back, and then crawl it up, looking for those fingertips or for the strap. Again, head is up tall, pull the abs up and in. You're gonna find one side is probably far more accessible than the other, so just see how far you can go. And as you're concentrating on these arms, you might have forgotten about how uncomfortable your legs are. Keep breathing. And then go ahead, release the arms. And then to get out of this time, let's just simply sit back and unwind. Where does the time go, my friends? All right, let's let both legs go long in front. Flex through the feet. Take a moment here, take a manual rotation of the thighs. So actually pick up the thighs and roll them away from each other. Okay, hands to your sides as comfortably as you can. And again, flex through the feet. So try to draw your heels towards the top of the mat. Press through your thighs as you do that. I've said it 1,000 times in class today, so we'll make it 1,001. Draw your abs up and in by thinking about the belly button pulling up towards the ribs and in towards the spine. Crown of the head up super tall, ears back. Keeping all that, let's inhale, reach your arms up. Keep on inhaling here. Exhale, reach it forward as you draw your belly in. Keep on reaching. And once you've found your max, let your hands down wherever they are. For some of you, you might still be way up here. For some of you, you might be way down here. It's your yoga, it's your mat, it's your practice. I'd rather you have a nice long straight spine and be sitting straight up than have a curvy spine coming down. So keep thinking about that long straight spine as you take the crown of your head towards your toes, and then exhale your stomach towards your thighs. All right, go ahead and release it, crawl it back up, and let's bend to the knees, grab the back of your thighs, and slowly come on down to your back. All right, draw both knees into your chest. Rock and roll from side to side. All right, leaving your knees bent, cactus your arms. Sorry. Cactus your arms, taking the back of your hands down to the mat. Flex through your feet, and then let both knees drop over to the left side, trying to leave your right shoulder pinned down on the mat. They might not come all the way down, that's okay. If it's super uncomfortable, you can put a block or blanket underneath your knee. If they do come down and you want to deepen this, what you can do is you can take your left foot and take it on top of your right knee to press that down just a little bit more. So a lot of options here. Again, find the one that works for your body and your practice today. And it might be different than what worked for your practice yesterday, and it might be different than what works for your practice tomorrow. Honor your body and what it needs right now. If you did take that ankle on top of your knee, release it. And let's bring both knees back up to center. Keeping the feet flexed, let both knees fall over to the right side, this time leaving your left shoulder pinned down on the earth. Again, take it as far as what works for you. And if you want to deepen the stretch in your hip, you take that right ankle and you press it on top of your left knee. If you've taken that option, go ahead and release the foot from the knee and bring both knees back up to center. And then let's come into a happy baby pose. So bring your arms to the insides of your knees and then bend the knees towards you, feet up towards the sky, and then reach for the feet, grabbing maybe the outsides of the feet as your hands and your arms are on the inside of your legs. Okay. If this is really uncomfortable, you can take one foot down and just go for half happy baby, one on each side. Try to draw your tailbone down towards the earth, taking all the curve out of your spine. Try to keep the feet flexed, the knees drawing down. If this is enough, stay right here. If it feels good, maybe rock and roll from side to side, nice and slow. And when you do that, notice if it feels different in one hip or the other. Just take note of it. Hold this pose as long as you wish, or if you're ready to come out of it, go ahead and release the feet. Bring the feet down to the earth, and we'll come into our final resting pose of Shavasana. Traditionally, the feet are out long, arms are at your sides, palms face up towards the sky. If this is uncomfortable for your low back, you can always put something underneath your knees, or you can always stamp your feet into the ground, take them as wide as your sticky mat, and let your knees come in together to touch. And this should take all that pressure off your low back if you're feeling it after class today. Wherever you are, do another body scan, top to bottom, making note of where you're still holding on to any tension or any muscular energy. And then take a nice big deep breath in through your nose. An open mouth exhale, let it all out, and just let go of whatever you're still holding on to in your body and in your mind. Feel everything melt down into the mat. Feel your body get heavy and your mind get cloudy. Start to deepen your breath once again, sending awareness into your body and into your mind, into the room, onto your mat. Make some small movements in the toes and in the fingers and the wrists and the ankles, further waking up the body. Stretch your arms overhead, your feet towards the top of the mat. Take a nice big deep breath in here. Fill all the way up, all the way from the head to the toes. And then on your exhale, let it all out as you draw your knees into your stomach. Nice big hug in. Making any last movements here that might feel good. And we're all going to meet in a seated position, either rolling to your right side and pressing yourself up, or if it feels good, rocking and rolling and coming straight up into a seat. Once you find that seat, sit up nice and tall. Again, thinking about taking the top of your head all the way to the sky and your shoulders down onto your back. Start to bring awareness back into the abs. Either leave your hands at your knees or bring them to heart center. And I'm going to repeat. True yoga is not about the shape of your body, but the shape of your life. Yoga is not to be performed, but lived. Yoga doesn't care where you've been. Yoga cares about the person you are becoming. Yoga is designed for a vast and profound purpose, and for it to truly be called yoga, its essence must be. Thank you for sharing your morning with all of us and all of your practice and your patience and your heart and your love and your yoga. The light and love in me honors the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste. And stay warm. Don't leave your house if you don't have to. Have your Super Bowl food delivered. So for those of you that are still on, if you have a minute, I forgot to say, we have a ton of really great workshops coming up. Next weekend is our first yoga for golf. So if you or someone you know and love loves to golf, it can vastly improve your range of motion. For those of you that do yoga all the time, I don't know if it's going to be anything too eye-opening for you, but you never know. It's going to be a lot of focus on side, body, and core. But definitely check it out. Megan Miller is a certified yoga for golf instructor. So they claim that you can see a 40 to 70% increase in range of motion with taking yoga for golf. So that's the next 3 weekends. You get a discount if you sign up for all 3, but you can do any one. It's all online, not in person. We also have Gabriel Halpern coming next Sunday at the same time. He's going to be talking about the Bhagavad Gita, which is the kind of quintessential yoga text that's quite difficult to digest, but something that a lot of people really are interested in reading. So he's going to break it down for us to make it easier when we do read it. And then he'll take us through like an hour-long practice as well, or something like that. We also have Desiree Rumbaugh coming online in March. If you've never practiced with Desiree Rumbaugh, please look her up online. I'm going to be getting a blog article up about her soon. She's an absolutely amazing woman. She wrote the book Fearless After 50, and just about changing your life and changing your body through positive thought and yoga and just good health. And she is truly, truly an amazing woman. So please check her out and join us for that. That's in March. And then one more thing, we have Dr. Nicole Rantilla coming back. She's a clinical psychologist. She's ERYT 500 yoga instructor, and she is doing yoga for mental health, well-being, basically yoga for stress and anxiety, but I don't remember what we're calling it. And so she'll have a 30-minute discussion about that, and then a all-level practice and Q&A afterwards. So lots of stuff coming up. So sorry to take your time with all that.
No, that's good. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Of course. Thank you guys.
Thanks for today.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming. Stay warm.
Yes, you too. You too.
Much love, guys. Happy Sunday.
Bye-bye. You too.
Susan, I have a question. Do you teach online during the week?
You know, I don't anymore because my kids are home from school. So they're only in school a couple hours. So right now I'm only Sundays. But we record all of these classes and we put them online for free. So there is an online library of some of these pre-recorded ones, both level 1, 2s and 1s that I've taught.
Okay. And do I just search your name then?
Yeah, or you can just go under Pulsation Yoga under classes. There's a section called online freebies and you can just scroll down and see.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you for asking. Hi, Julie.
Hey, I just want to, oh, there I am. I just want to say happy Sunday to you. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I can't believe you went out.
I know. I was like, I knew no one was signed up, but I don't really have a place. No, we're still recording. I don't really have a place to teach at home.